It's time to take a deep dive into one of the characters that reminds me of my golden years back in high school. Flats the Flounder gives me so many flashbacks to when I was absolutely running the hallways back in high schools. I was shoving dorks and dweebs into lockers. I was serving the most nuclear and atomic of wedgies, and most of all, I probably committed a few felonies while serving some swirlies. The more I really think about it, this dude Flax really is like me. Not to mention the fact that Flax has an absolute dump truck in the back, just like me. Without any further ado, Flats the Flounder Theory. Not exactly sure what that means. Flats the Flounder Theory. See what we got.
This is Flats, the big mean flounder that randomly started bullying SpongeBob. The big mean flounder that gained control over his dad. But what if I told you that Flats is not just a bully, but a stalker, or even worse, somebody in the TV show is secretly hiring Flats to kill SpongeBob? This theory is about to change the way you think about SpongeBob SquarePants. This is
Flats being a hired hitman is one of the hardest things that I've heard.
Flats Flounder Theory.
That's sick.
If you think SpongeBob is a weird TV show, you're not alone. This is one of the only TV shows that hides serious topics and gives small hints that lead to the truth of how crazy SpongeBob SquarePants is. It's like a cheese pizza with pepperoni underneath. You will never know what it is without taking that first bite. But I'm determined to use all the hints to find the thread to connect the
That's a weird analogy. That's a weird analogy. It's like a cheese pizza with the pepperoni underneath. You don't know until you take a bite. But if you order the pizza, you order a pepperoni pizza, then wouldn't you know that the pepperoni is there before you take the bite?
theory.
I feel like that's a weird analogy.
Flats the Flounder is a light green,
You
unusual
about to tell me Flats the Flounder promotes drunk driving?
looking fish
That's what
that
you're gonna tell me.
attended Mrs. Puff's boating school in the episode The Bully. SpongeBob introduces himself to Flats, who responds with, "SpongeBob, I'm gonna kick your butt."
SpongeBob, I'm gonna kick your butt.
SpongeBob
I'ma
takes this
whoop
as a
your
joke
ass,
until
little man.
Flats literally rips his chest hair off to show that he means it. But why
Bro, I
would
be
you
doing that with
bully
my
SpongeBob for no reason? What if I told you that Flats joined the boating school just to bully SpongeBob? In this exact episode, we see
That's just like me. The only sole reason that I went to high school, I only joined high school for the sole purpose of shoving people into lockers, dude. And I was living the time of my life.
something
Right? All American,
incredible.
prom king,
Flats is
most likely to be successful,
driving a garbage
funniest person in senior class,
truck.
most attractive and handsomest member of the senior class. Dude, I'm telling you, I was doing it all.
We see something incredible. Flats is
Facts.
driving a garbage truck.
That is
Why would someone who
homicidal.
knows how to drive go to boating school? Because he doesn't even need a license. Why is Flats in boating school if he doesn't need a driver's license? I believe that Flats came here for revenge. But there is no way this is gonna make sense. SpongeBob never harmed anyone in Bikini Bottom.
It's not true.
Holy crap.
My
In season
God.
1, Sandy's rocket proves Flats' revenge. SpongeBob and Patrick were going alien hunting thinking Bikini Bottom was a different planet. Lo and behold, who we see? Flats the Flounder. SpongeBob shot Flats
My
with
gosh.
the alien gun and abducted him. And when you look
So
carefully,
Flats, SpongeBob shot Flats. And so Flats lived, and Flats like, alright, I'm finna spin the block on my ops. I'm about to slide for the homies. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense, bro. Bro, Flats is a ride or die, bro. He's a real one.
at the end of the
Shout out
episode,
Flats.
we see the rocket trapped on the moon. SpongeBob left Flats on the moon.
SpongeBob!
This probably triggered Flats to run after SpongeBob. He must have sworn to take revenge on him and make him pay the debt. But how did Flats know so much about SpongeBob? Like where he lives and learns at? There must be somebody helping Flats get closer and closer to his prey.
Who is it? The Mastermind. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Back to the same episode, The Bully. SpongeBob walks around the halls of Mrs. Puff's boarding school, and out of the blue, the phone rings, and to our surprise, guess who picked up the phone?
Hi, I'd like to place an order for delivery.
Oh my god!
Yeah, hey Mario.
Patrick Star.
It's Patrick!
Calls the boarding school and mistakes it as a
Dude, I believe this. You cannot trust that dude Patrick, bro. He's a
store called Pizza
If you
Castle.
know, you know.
In the whole TV show, we have never heard of a pizza store called Pizza Castle. Maybe because it does not exist, and it's a lie made up to fool SpongeBob. But how the heck did he accidentally dial the boarding school telephone at the exact same time
It wasn't an
SpongeBob
accident.
passed by?
It wasn't an accident.
Because
He
Flats
knew.
is stalking SpongeBob. Patrick then says he bumped into a community college buddy named Flats. But remember, Patrick doesn't seem like the type of people to be smart enough to enter a college, so this is
You saying Patrick's not smart? Oh boy, do I have news for you, buddy.
obviously a fake statement.
Have you heard of the Theorizer?
No, they're not closed. Oh, I'm sorry, SpongeBob. I was just talking to my old community college buddy, Flats.
He also mentions he met him in the soda shop.
I bumped into him at the soda store. Isn't that funny?
What? What is a soda shop? Again with the lies. There is
It's a shop that sells sodas. Feel like it's pretty straightforward to me. You ain't never been to a soda shop?
no
That's
such
on
thing as
you.
a soda shop, which means Patrick probably bumped into Flats in the episode Sandy's Rocket. He offered him a job to kill SpongeBob. Flats had a very evil smirk on his face, which proves that he intended this to happen. But if Flats was at Patrick's home, who was spying on him? Well, who hates SpongeBob just as much as Squidward? Who is having nightmares and
Oh
suffering
my-
from PTSD
and we
just
know-
because
We know the relationship between SpongeBob and Mrs. Puff, so this isn't...
of SpongeBob? Who teaches SpongeBob and can't control him? Mrs. Puff. She seems like the type of person to hate SpongeBob.
I believe it.
I'm thinking that Mrs. Puff was part of this mastermind plan and partnered with Flats.
So
and
Mrs. Puff, Flats, and Patrick are in cahoots to assassinate SpongeBob.
Patrick to spy on SpongeBob. And if you look at the chalkboard where Flats was drawing something, he clearly drew SpongeBob getting beaten up by him, and Mrs. Puff didn't even notice it. What the hell? Why wouldn't Mrs. Puff notice him wanting to beat him up on the chalkboard? She is either blind or she's trying to kill SpongeBob.
Please draw for us a diagram of a basic...
I mean, we know Mrs. Puff is a thug. Mrs. Puff is a true gangster, bro. She used to be hitting licks back in the day, bro. So,
four-way intersection.
she not too far off.
My, how very creative.
In the episode New Student Starfish, she apparently had an X-ray chalkboard where she can see through.
Good job, boys. I saw the whole thing from behind my one-way chalkboard, and I couldn't be happier with your teamwork.
Mrs. Puff carries technology to spy on SpongeBob. When SpongeBob told Mrs. Puff about Flats being a bully, she told Flats and used his name.
SpongeBob, you can tell me anything.
But only if you promise to keep it between us.
Of course.
I knew I could count on you.
SpongeBob, I talked to Flats for you. I used your name.
Mrs. Puff, you excuse of
Dude.
a boarding school teacher. You just did this
Mrs.
to
Puff,
get SpongeBob's butt kicked,
how
and
could
you know
you?
it. Shame on you, Mrs. Puff. I hope Mr. Krabs rejects you. She wants to get rid of SpongeBob so she can stop
Dude, Mrs.
having
Dude,
PTSD
Mr. Krabs
and
going crazy in nose.
SpongeBob so she can
Welcome.
stop having PTSD and nightmares of dealing with an all-time failure. She sounds enthusiastic to end SpongeBob's life. In a lot of episodes, we have seen Mrs. Puff trying to murder SpongeBob, whereas she could just fire him and end this whole thing, but she is forced to teach him, and the way to get out is to end his life. If you're wondering—
Oh my god! So you're telling, right? We saw the Mrs. Puff thing, right? We know Mrs. Puff is being tortured by being forced to teach the unteachable SpongeBob. We know that from a previous theory. So this one is saying that because of that, Mrs. Puff's only way out of this never-ending and eternal torment is psychotic, homicidal slaughter. And it makes so much damn sense.
Why Patrick wants to end SpongeBob, then look no further, let me explain. You may think that they're the greatest friends, but you're absolutely wrong. The only reason Patrick likes SpongeBob is because of his food and money. You all know that Patrick does nothing but
He's a gold digger.
Wonder how he's surviving. SpongeBob is funding for his bills, food, and home. Otherwise, he would go home.
Does Patrick pay rent? Cause it's really just a rock. You know what I mean? Like, does he have like a mortgage? Like, does he pay property taxes?
SpongeBob's life because he wants to inherit everything that SpongeBob owns, so he never has to work a day in his life.
Don't you have to be married for that? The father.
So now we all know that Patrick, Flats, and Mrs. Puff are planning the destruction of SpongeBob. But a lot of you guys think Flats is still joking, and if you do think that, then take a look at this clip.
Are you Flats' dad?
Why, yes I am.
He wants to kick my butt.
Dad, what are you doing?
Nothing, son.
What did I tell you about talking to
Soft-ass
strangers?
dad.
Now he's gonna kick my butt.
SpongeBob goes to complain to Flats' dad, and when Flats appeared, his dad freaks out and tells us that now he's gonna kick my butt.
Now he's gonna kick my ass.
Flats' dad scared of his son. Flats is a manipulative figure that
because do you know why he's intimidated by Flats? Because Flats is just like me.
Spare his own dad at any cost. He seems like a dictator and abuses his strength and may even kill his father after this moment. And that's the Flats Flounder theory. This theory took a lot
psychotic
of effort,
Flats Flounder. So
we finally
basically Flats is a hired hitman by Mrs. Puff and Patrick. Mrs. Puff wants to end her eternal torment of having to teach SpongeBob that she wants him dead, and Patrick is a gold digger that wants to inherit SpongeBob's estate, so he wants to have SpongeBob murdered too. So they hire Flats, a devious and diabolical assassinating hitman, to do the dirty work for them. This is psychotic, dude.